We recently experienced the indoor coaster tour at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. This new tour takes you behind the scenes of the park's two unique indoor roller coasters, with highlights including a look inside Verbolten special effects building and a visit to the maintenance and ride areas of DarKoaster.
With this ride, there's a brother and a sister, Gerda and Gunter, and they run a touring company. You're supposed to take a sports car out and go tour through Bavaria. That's what this section of track over here represents, kind of just meandering through Bavaria. And you're not supposed to go into the Black Forest. Well, guess what? People are going into the Black Forest. So the brother is kind of covering up the fact that people are going missing in the Black Forest. So when you wait in line and everything, that's what all the suitcases are from. That's why phones are ringing. People are saying, hey, we're stuck in the Black Forest, please come get us. But he doesn't really care. He's just continuing to send people on the tour. So you go out and then you go into the Black Forest. And because the Black Forest is forbidden, that's why we named this roller coaster Verbolten. Verboten in German is forbidden, so we threw an L in there. There's a bolt of lightning, like you're launching into the forest. So we're gonna head down into the behind the scenes area and stay filming for now.
Sure.
Just be careful coming down these steps over here, they're pretty steep. So right over here are the two launches on Verbolten. This first launch that's inside this tunnel only goes a little bit above 35 miles per hour. It's really not that fast. It feels a lot faster because you're going at a high acceleration uphill, and it actually enters at the highest point of the building, which we'll see when we get inside. And you're also heading into darkness, so you're kind of disoriented a little bit coming from the light outside, and it feels a lot faster than it actually is. But the second launch is your top speed of 53 miles per hour. That does feel faster because it is faster. Yeah. And it's not really at that incline like you can see right here. So launch number 2 is better in my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like the sound effects add to that feel of fastness going into the building because it has more of a whooshing sound as you go inside.
It's a ghost that sounds like it's pulling you in. Yeah. So we're gonna head down this way. Big Bad Wolf, the former roller coaster that was here, was all in this area over here. The first lift hill was kind of where we're standing right here. We're going to show you an old footer for the ride when we get down there.
Yeah, they're testing it, so.
Yeah. We'll get to see that.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's always cool when you get to see the ride actually moving in there without being on it, because then you can go, oh, okay, see how it looks now, and then get on it and be like, oh, this is what they're talking about.
Kind of boulder looking things, those are remnants of one of the old footers on Big Bad Wolf, or so we've been told. And this whole area used to be a natural landscape and everything, but when we built this warehouse and installed Verbolten, built Verbolten, we kind of had to relax the entire area. That's why it all kind of comes down like this now. And something that's kind of different between DarKoaster and Verbolten is Verbolten we built and then we installed the warehouse around it. DarKoaster we had to just put everything in an already existing building. So those are some of the different design aspects of the ride and everything.
We had more wiggle room with this one because we built around instead of trying to fit a coaster into a building.
All right.
Bring people in when the lights are off. So we have to, while people are in the park riding the ride, so we should have to wait at the door and we're like, okay,
listen,
where are you in the ride right now so we don't ruin the experience for you?
Open sunlight come in.
And is this part unique to this tour versus the normal coaster?
So we do this on the normal coaster tour, but we don't talk about DarKoaster as much on it.
Okay.
We're just trying to show you like the comparison between the two rides.
Yeah.
How they're also entirely different. Again.
At this point in the tour, we went inside Verbolten's show building to watch as the ride completed its daily test runs with the maintenance lights on. To keep some elements of the tour a surprise, Busch Gardens asked us not to film in this area. We were guided up several flights of stairs to the top of the first mid-course break for an elevated view of the ride layout, before crossing to the other side of the show building for a close-up look at Verbolten's drop track, both from the ground and from above.
This is the other side of the two launches over here. Obviously, we'd love to show you them running, but maybe see that again a little bit later. So the first launch always takes priority over the second launch. That's just for story continuity, because it really wouldn't make sense if you're about to launch into the Black Forest and then you just immediately come to a stop.
Yeah.
So makes a little bit more sense though if you drop and then you have to wait a second to let your car start and everything. We can't have both launches run at the same time because half the power in the park would go out. That would not be good. So we have to do one at a time. And that's why we have the first launch always take priority over the second. So yeah. Those are all the stators, the linear synchronous motors that are basically giant electromagnets that push it to where it gets stuck at the top of there. So yeah. This is where the second lift hill for Big Bad Wolf was. It was kind of over there, and then it curved around where the train is right up there right now. We also have this pond down here, very small pond that's kind of just beneath the ride. Do you have any guesses for what that is for? Has nothing to do with the roller coaster. So it's actually for mosquitoes. We kind of create an environment for them to come down away from guest pathways. Because, you know, who wants to get bit by bugs when they come to a park? So if we create an environment for them where they can flourish away from our guests, then that's ideal. All right, we're going to head to the top.
There you go.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Don't go down there.
Yes. And that is definitely something to make folks aware of. That you will walk when you're on these tours. I think our regular coaster tour is a little more intense than this one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this is the bridge. If you look at old commercials for the ride and everything, you can see a car flying off of a bridge. That's what this is supposed to represent. That entire brown structure up there is completely separate from the ride structure.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all just theming. That doesn't need to be there for the ride structure whatsoever. The only thing that matters are the green supports. Now, it used to have a different roof when the ride first opened. It was done by a local carpenter, and it took him 3 attempts to kind of get it to where he wanted it. Kind of looking like it was about to fall apart without actually falling apart, and it looks pretty good. And then, I think it was in 2021, it actually started falling apart because it was wood and it was rotting. And the creaking sounds that you can hear up there were real. So we didn't actually want it falling apart on people. So we knocked it down ourselves, and then we installed this new roof that was done in-house. It's a little different. It doesn't...
Raise your hand if you can hear me.
So that's part of their training. If there were people up there, they would need to make sure that they can hear the instructions and everything. So yeah. This drop is a little bit taller than the drop on Big Bad Wolf for 2 reasons. One, it is physically taller, but it's also because you're above the track instead of below the track as well.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. We also reused the footers for Big Bad Wolf down in the valley. There's a few reasons for that. One, the main thing was we said we were paying homage to Big Bad Wolf. A lot of people really liked that ride, and so we were saying, you know, this is paying our respects to the ride. But the two other reasons was it cost a little bit less to make, and then it also was just better for environmental paperwork. We weren't disturbing the environment down there and everything. We already had these things built. Why not reuse them?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It closed in the 90s and then was taken down in the early 2000s. A lot of people really liked the ride, but it was also hated by a lot of people too. It was an extremely rough ride.
It was a little intense.
They had people remove their earrings, so they didn't, you know,
With the posts and that sort of thing.
rip people's ears.
That's a little,
Yeah.
you have to check for earrings.
Yeah.
Well, you also, your head would get jerked around, and that way your earrings weren't stabbing into the side of your head.
So over there is one of our
Palestream mazes.
yeah, and then we also
Okay.
have one inside the old station for Jack and Fire as well. So that's the old station for the ride.
Oh,
and
right.
That was the maintenance area.
Do you ever think they'll reuse them, build something else here?
So there are rumors of something happening over here. I really hope we're gonna reuse it at some point. We already have this area developed, ready for use. So
Yeah.
here's hoping, but
But even we're at a wait and see. kind of
yeah,
thing.
Yes.
we don't
So,
have.
honestly,
I wish we had insider information, but we
don't.
not that kind of stuff. So when they took down the ride, a lot of the footers for the ride were still kind of in the area, and they just kind of chopped them up, and like they were just kind of like giant rocks around in the field. And we used to do reserve seating for fireworks out here in 2021, and we shoot the fireworks off from like right over there, and it was always fun walking around and tripping over rocks and everything. So we like to say that Dragon Fire sometimes still injures people to this day.
Just not their ears.
Just revenge of Jack and Fire in a way.
Hey, this is a good time to end, though.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
We've got some.
You have space to grow.
We
here.
do. We do have the space.
Something
Some of
that
it's used as storage areas, and so
there was
train track
actually
comes through here. So
we had a small fire over the summer, so that's why that color of the roof is different.
Ah.
But yeah, this is another haunted house. This was actually the exit for the ride, and now it's the entrance for the haunted house.
Got it.
I've actually never seen that before because it's usually super overgrown over here. That's good. But it's not summer right now, so we can see it.
Do you see the buttermilk?
No, what am I looking at?
Right there.
Oh, I might need to come around this way a little bit.
That spot. It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
And that one you can tell it's actually
Yeah, that looks like the rock.
yeah,
a little questionable. Over there is DarKoaster. I almost said Cursed Dark Castle. So the theme of that ride was King Ludwig was inviting you into his castle because he wanted to appease his guests and he wanted to have a party. But all those people disappeared after they went on the tour in his golden carriages pulled by horses. And eventually, all those people disappeared and the castle went abandoned for years. And now with DarKoaster, you're going back into the castle, investigating the paranormal activity, the storm that surrounds the castle. So we'll see some of that stuff later, but first we're going to go to the back of the building and look at the storm from a different perspective. So we'll head. So this is the part of the tour where Kate and I are like, this is truly experimental.
yeah, and we're probably gonna be bouncing off of each other more than we were Bolton.
This has never been done with guests before.
Yeah.
But this was the door where we brought all the track pieces in for the new ride and everything. All of the track pieces were all scattered around this area and everything. And it was really cool as an employee being able to walk around and say, "Oh, something's happening back here." But this is where the actual maintenance area for the ride was, for the old ride was. It was just in the back part of this building. That's why we have the store here, just because if we need to remove larger objects like the ride vehicles or something, it's super easy to do. And when we go inside to the maintenance area, you'll actually be able to see old
Part of the track.
tracks
area.
like where
Where-
you can see
where
it
the
sliding
dog
all
ride,
sliding all the time. Because the maintenance area for the ride is actually now over here.
Okay.
So we completely transferred where it was. So yeah, let's head inside. Constructed super fun stuff. So this is DarKoaster's maintenance area. It's probably our largest maintenance area in the park because we didn't use this section of the building, for the actual ride area and whatnot. So if you look on the ground right here, you can see the not tracks, but where the old ride used to kind of glide right here. This is the section, I don't know if you remember, where you would exit this way into the chimney from where King Ludwig was telling you to come into the chimney, and then you come through this kind of black area, and then right up here on the wall there was a giant screen, and that's where you would start your like flying around in the sky kind of thing. When the ride first opened, it was actually a ballroom scene, and then we changed it a little bit later on because we wanted to kind of use the 3D effects a little bit more. So that's what was right here.
Did they create this wall?
Yes, this wall was
Okay.
new for, you can kind of see like the difference right there. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this ride, this whole wall was new when we built DarKoaster.
So
And then where we came in was the maintenance for that original ride.
Correct. Yes.
So how many trains are there? 'Cause
There are
yesterday
two
there was only
trains.
one.
There are
Okay.
two trains. This is the second train.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's, I just texted him and asked him what's up. He called me too.
Probably asking what happened to Verbolten. So, see right here how it says Wild Wolf 9684. So that's referencing the rides that kind of used to be in this area that are not here anymore. So Wilds, the part Wilds, is referring to Wild Izzy. Wild Izzy opened here in 1996, and it was called Wild Izzy because Izzy was the mascot for the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. So we opened it for that, and that opened in 96. And then Wolf is Big Bad Wolf, and that opened in 1984. So we kind of combined those to give a kind of a code name for each of the.
So what's
each
the
of
other train?
the other train is Frostbite 1719, and Frostbite was the haunted house that was in here right after Cursor Dark Castle closed, and that was running from 2017 to 2019. So that's where the 17 and 19 come from.
So they're currently only one train. Can they run two trains at a time?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yep. We can run two trains at a time. That's the whole reason why you go around twice on the track, because.
You didn't even notice,
Did you not know that you went around?
I knew you went around
Yeah.
twice.
So yes, that's the whole reason you go around twice, is because we can run two trains, and we want to be able to have guests loading and getting out of a train while another one is going around the track. If not, it would go through the station, and that really wouldn't work. It'd be like a
Yeah.
station. The actual tires that launch you are larger than that. Maintenance actually describes them to us as being almost the size of an 18-wheeler, those kind of wheels and everything.
Okay.
This section right here is actually where the wheel assemblies will be attached to, right down here. I believe
Okay.
this is either the front or back. I want to say it's the front, but I'm not.
Assume it would be the front.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that's like your little thing.
Yeah.
How the maintenance area at Pantheon looks as well. They're both intimates, and so they both look very similar. This one is a little bit longer treads. Those are the restraints right over here. These are the seat backs right here. And this is what goes on the front of the first wheel assemblies right here. it kind of just covers up the wheels so you can't really see it super well. That's why the track is black. Everything is black just so we can kind of hide. I'm not sure. I think the spring break period. Yeah. We do close this ride in severe weather because if the power is to go out somewhere else, then that could just cause problems here.
Yeah.
If we're supposed to be like sheltering in place, we don't want to like
Keep this ride going.
Yeah,
because
and
then it would encourage people possibly to come over here.
yeah,
and
and
want that.
it would cause other issues.
So is that like like sometimes it's sunny but there's lightning? Is it that type of weather, or is it
it's like
truly severe?
we have different weather codes.
Yeah.
I think this ride closes in our very last one. I believe it closes. Is it purple? Okay. So that means that it's you remember purple?
Purple is the
Yeah.
shelter in place and get everybody indoors and
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, for most of our other rides, we close at orange, I believe. But this ride gets to stay closed until the very end. And with this ride, I don't believe after we go down for weather, I don't think on other rides we have to do a certain number of test runs after, just because if branches fell on the track and whatnot. But this ride, we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Now, something that was a little bit interesting about this site, it first was used for glissade. Back when the park first opened, it was the Schwarzkopf ride that it had the spiral lift hill and then it went down and around. It still exists today. It's either in Mexico or Colombia, I can't remember. Somewhere in South America it still exists. But after we removed that, we got Wild Izzy. And then Wild Izzy was turned into Wild Mouse while it was still here. Wild Mouse, because German. And then after that, it was sent down to Tampa. It was called Cheetah Chase, and then it was Sand Serpent, and now it's gone.
it just closed last year,
Yeah. So
They're
that
building
was
a new
original
coaster
to
there.
Our park, and then we gave
That's
it.
interesting.
Yeah. And now Phoenix Rising is coming at.
Oh, it's
Busch
Yeah.
rising.
It's
Yes.
rising.
It's finally rising.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It was
So,
last week.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I saw that online too.
So we're getting there.
And we built DarKoaster and a Dark Castle, and then had it closed and mazes and Santa's Workshop and
Yes.
now DarKoaster.
It was always interesting describing to people what was in here.
Yeah.
In the time that we didn't have a ride,
Yeah.
Santa's Workshop was in this creepy castle. Wondering, but did Verbolten show up?
No, so actually, we don't know exactly what happened to her.
Remain seated.
So I don't press the E spell. We never press the E spell. It was more of, we think that
We concluded the tour with a special ride on DarKoaster as the first guest to ride for the day. Overall, we found the indoor coaster tour to be both entertaining and informative, and we would like to thank our guides Stephen and Kate for sharing their knowledge with us. Be aware that the tour lasts around 2 hours and does include climbing several flights of stairs. We recommend the indoor coaster tour for any roller coaster fans interested in seeing behind the scenes of these two iconic rides.